soulless fusions of decaying flesh, bone, and metal, twisted and ruined by centuries of war. They search the galaxy for the sole item their existence requires, harvesting, consuming, and destroying everything in their path. And now, they have arrived here.
Yeah! Alright. Enemy Territory Quake Wars for the PC. Yeah, I know it's old. I'm gonna review it anyways, biatch. One of the reasons why I'm gonna review it is because the shitty Xbox 360 and PS3 versions just came out of this game, and I want to show you guys another reason out of the hundreds of thousands of billions of reasons why the PC version of any FPS game will always be superior to the shitty ass console versions. And it's funny, because the console versions actually sucked, not because it's an FPS on a console, it's just because that the developer did a terrible freaking shitty job at converting this game over to the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Which is really weird because this game on the PC is solid. So it kind of sucks that all the console noobs out there actually don't get to experience a pretty solid FPS. I mean, oh well, we all know that consoles blow ass, but I mean seriously, to take a pretty solid FPS game like this and just fuck it up on a console conversion, I mean that's just sad, especially since FPSs are like reigning supreme on consoles nowadays. So let's get into this shit. Alright, so Enemy Territory Quake Wars it's not a sequel, but it's like a continuation of the style of gameplay that was originated in Enemy Territory. Enemy Territory was a free mod that was developed by this developer, Splash Damage, and it was really cool. It was developed for the Castle Wolfenstein game. They released it free of charge, and it's sick. It's, you know, team-based gameplay, same shit as Quake Wars, except set in World War II, obviously. You know, you had your spies, your medics, you know, your assault classes, etc. And they really polished the shit out of this gameplay in the original Enemy Territory, and it became a huge hit. Hella people still play it today. If you haven't had a chance to download Enemy Territory yet, go grab it. It's free. It's a small download too. I think it's even under 200 meg maybe. But it's badass. I mean, I spent freaking countless hours playing that game. So I was expecting some pretty sick shit with Enemy Territory Quake Wars for the PC. And for the most part, Splash Damage did a decent job delivering on a lot of the stuff that made Enemy Territory so fun to play. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have its issues. I'll get into all that shit later, but let's start going into how this game plays for all the noobs out there that aren't quite sure what this game's about. I know some of you may be looking at this thinking it's your typical first-person shooter or whatever for all the people who have never experienced Enemy Territory. So let's do this shit. Now, in Enemy Territory, you can go online or fight against bots. Obviously, the main appeal is fighting online. Once you jump onto an online server, you'll see this screen here. This is where you get to choose between your class and your side, the Strogg and the GDF. Here you can see we're showing some Strogg off here. We got medics, engineers, assault, your basic shit. You got the human side, you know, same exact classes. They have a little bit of a different makeup in each side, but nothing big. You get to choose your gun for whatever class you choose, and then once you're done picking your shit, you're off. Enemy Territory Quake Wars is first and foremost a team-based game. If you are a soloist player and you like to run around being a jackass, just doing your own thing, don't fucking play this game. Don't pick it up and don't buy it and don't come onto the server that I'm in, because I don't want to see that shit. Okay, if you jump into Quake Wars, your job is to help your team accomplish the goals. No matter what side you play on, whether it's the GDF or the Strogg, you have your own set. And these goals range from building bridges, destroying bridges, capturing spawn points, going in and blowing up generators, and blah blah blah. All manners of crap that you can think of is basically in this game. But it's all based on team gameplay. Alright, so that's the #1 thing of this game, and it's sick. One of the cool things about the game, obviously, to help team gameplay is voice chat. Voice chat's in there, and I've noticed a lot of people use it on the server, so you'll never have a hard time trying to find a server with team play going on. That's one of the cool things about this community, actually, is that most people that do play this game are willing to use the tools that are available to them to get those jobs done, such as voice chat. So if you've been looking for that game that requires total team-based gameplay and a community that supports it pretty good, Enemy Territory Quake Wars is where you want to go for the most part. I mean, obviously you're going to find some douchebags out there, but you get the drift. Now, the flow of Enemy Territory Quake Wars works like this. You'll pick a campaign, and then within each campaign, you'll have 3 different maps to play, basically your rounds. And each map, of course, comes with its own set of objectives and, you know, vehicles, etc. and layout. And whoever wins the most rounds wins the campaign. And then that's how it goes. So you just keep repeating those cycles. There are several different campaigns that you get to choose from, ranging from a European to an African to an American one. So you get a good variety in the gameplay. All the maps are pretty fun. They've all got their strengths and weaknesses. But overall, you'll find that each map is decently well balanced. There's no map that necessarily favors any one side, which is nice to see. Splash Damage did an excellent job in balancing the game. As you can see from the video, the graphics are pretty sick. It uses the Doom 3 engine, but I believe it's using some newer stuff that ID had added to the engine, obviously, since the creation of Doom 3 and other early Doom 3 engines. The art design is good. I'm not particularly fond of the Strogg or the IDF designs. I mean, they're pretty plain. I mean, I realize the Strogg design's coming from an older time period, but, you know, they didn't do the world's greatest job creating them. The vehicles, on the other hand, are pretty cool looking. They did a good job with that, especially like the Strogg turrets. So there's some cool artwork in the game, and overall the graphics are pretty sick. You are going to need a hefty system to turn this bitch all the way up. You're not going to need like an insane system, but you're going to need a damn good system to blast these graphics. So that's the good shit, right? Okay, so that doesn't mean the game isn't without its flaws. This game has been patched like crazy, right? So the developer has definitely supported it. One of its lacking things, and I heard it lacks pretty bad in the console version, is the AI. Now, the AI isn't terrible in the PC version. Actually, it does a decent job, but it's not the best. I mean, if you're coming off of Unreal Tournament's AI and you jump into this game, you're going to see a noticeable difference about, you know, the versatility of the bots you're going up against. The next thing you might notice is that the animations aren't the world's smoothest either. They're not very organic, and they're kind of clunky in the way they were designed. I don't know what happened there. It's almost unacceptable in today's day and age, and I don't really see why there's any reason for the animations to be as kind of shitty as they can be. The next problem with the game is, and this is actually directly related with the animations, I guess, is the smoothness of how you play from your first-person perspective isn't all that good. For whatever reason, it feels clunky, and I'm not talking about, like, you know, your system sucks and you're getting a lack of frame per second or something like that. You know, you run the game flawlessly, and the way your character moves and flows across the battlefield just feels rough. And it's this roughness that might actually make you feel like the game is a little amateurish. And I gotta be honest, there's really no excuse for Splash Damage doing this, because they're a quality company. I mean, if you play Enemy Territory, you know, you'll see that quality. I mean, you see it in Enemy Territory Quake Wars as well. It's just the animation comes off kind of shitty. That's about it for the shitty parts of the game. The online stuff has been pretty solid. I haven't had any real issues with it. There were a couple router issues that people were reporting one patch ago, but that's gone now as far as I know. So it should be a fairly smooth ride for going on ahead and grabbing this bitch, which should be in your bargain bin now. I mean, this game's been out for how long now? I mean, shit. And if you're thinking about buying it for that PS3 or Xbox 360 you got rotting next to your TV, fuck that, man. Pick up the PC version, even if you have a shitty PC. Don't even waste your it's probably $60 on the console version, because that's just a waste of money, man. And you're doing yourself a great injustice by playing a FPS, like a good FPS, on a shitty console with a shitty controller. Don't even waste your time, alright? Alright, so that's the review. Game's solid, it's fun. It's not the shit, but it'll do the job. Alright, peace out, bitches.